And we are live. We are live. Hey guys, welcome to the Superhero Cuts podcast where we talk things Marvel, DC, and Star Wars. It's your boy Stevie Hayes, joined by Jerry. Brother, how are you today?
I'm good. You didn't see the Instagram. I posted the collab Instagram
Let me see.
and check the tags
Oh
because
God.
I think you'll laugh about who I tagged each
Oh
of us
Lord.
as.
Let me see. Let me see.
If you're watching,
Ah,
you'll get a kick out of it.
that's really funny, bro.
yeah,
Yo,
yeah.
that's actually good. No, I tip my hat. That was a good one. 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 Yo, bro, you're
Because
getting
you
very
look like
creative
Doctor
with these
Strange and I
tags,
look like
bro.
Captain America, right?
Bro, yo, hey man, you honestly you should have tagged yourself as Black Panther, bro.
Bro.
T'Challa.
Yeah. That
That's
was
hilarious. No, that was actually really funny. That was really
yeah.
funny.
Someone would have canceled me if I.
Yeah, right.
They'll want to cancel me because I didn't tag you as T'Challa. you know.
So I literally had to change the branding the last second of this because Chris Evans announced that he's coming back. So there's no way we're going to talk about Craven first. Like,
Yo, Derp.
no way. So we're going to get right into it. So this is a pretty wild day, man. Because I was expecting it to be a chill. Craven came out like we were going to talk about Craven. And then we get this news like an hour before we freaking record. I text Jerry in all caps, and Jerry's just like, what the frick? So, bro, how do you feel about this news that Chris Evans is coming back?
I'm torn because there are so many good actors, okay? And I am not one of the people who've been saying, oh, we need the OGs back. Like, that is not me, okay? I am okay with new and different characters. First of all, I don't think he's coming back as Captain America. There's no way that they are giving Sam Wilson a Captain America movie and they are going to just like if you were Anthony Mackie and they were bringing back Steve Rogers as Captain America, first of all, a lot of fans would be pissed. Second of all, it would mean Captain America 4 is irrelevant. Sam Wilson's character is irrelevant. Like, that would be outright just disrespectful and unethical to do to Anthony Mackie as an actor. So I don't think that's what they're doing. I do think that he is going to be playing a major character that hasn't been in the MCU yet. I'm sure, people are going to be saying, oh, it might be Cyclops. Oh, it might be Magneto. We have no idea. But if we're going off of RDJ, it's going to be someone big, like someone who is, one of the biggest characters in the Marvel universe, period. I'm torn, though. I'm torn. I don't think that it's the best idea. I really don't. I don't know how much I like it. I'm not saying that it can't work. I'm not saying that if the movie's great, I'm going to complain. I do think the movie's going to be great regardless if RDJ and Chris Evans are in it. But I would like to see Marvel cast actors that we haven't seen necessarily be major. Like, I would rather see people like Mads Mikkelsen. And I know some people are like, oh, well, Jerry, Mads was in the MCU too. Yeah, Mads was in a one-and-done villain. He wasn't even that big of a deal in that movie. Doctor Strange, obviously. It's much different than taking Captain America and recasting him, okay? But there are other actors out there. I would like to see new talent in the MCU. And the other thing that I'm torn about here is, the whole point of the fans and what everyone has been saying about RDJ. I think that it's a pretty fair split. I think there's a lot of fans like Stevie and I who are happy to see RDJ back as Doom. I think I differ from Stevie on one thing where I say I still would have preferred to see Mads Mikkelsen as Dr. Doom. Stevie, I think, disagrees with that, which is fine, but there's a lot of fans that don't want to see RDJ back and have been saying things like Marvel is creatively bankrupt. They can't do anything without the OG actors. And they were already saying that heavily from RDJ. And now, obviously, they are doubling down with the news of Steve Rogers' actor, Chris Evans. But here's the thing. I always say I would like for them to not listen to fans, period. I think most fans say, like, the noise from the fandom is mostly stupid, uninformed, has no idea what they're talking about. And then you get a couple people with a YouTube like us, or people who actually know what they're talking about and read the comics. I always say, listen, if I had to have Marvel listen to no fans, and that include us, I would take it any day of the week. So I kind of like the attitude of Marvel saying, we don't really care what anyone's saying. We're doing what we believe in. I think it's important for them to have that attitude. I just wish it was something else that I, saw differently. But I still do think Doomsday is going to come out. I think it's going to be incredible. And I think that anyone who's complaining about Chris Evans and RDJ, myself included, and I'm not complaining like everyone else is, but I do see the validity to a lot of people's complaints with that. I think Stevie doesn't sympathize with that perspective as much as I do. I'm not saying I share this perspective completely, but I definitely do sympathize with it, and I do see where they're coming from. But Stevie, what do you think? And what do you
know
think
me very
about
well, man. You know me. Jerry, if you guys know, Jerry knows every move in my book. I'm telling you, Jerry knows my takes before I say them because he knows me. So I love this idea. I think it's dope. Like I was hype. I honestly thought that Ozzy was expecting more of a Secret Wars appearance than him appearing in Doomsday. That honestly shocked me more than anything, because I really was expecting Doomsday to be more of like a RDJ Doom Center thing, where he's like the center of it. And I still think that's possible, but the fact that it is announced that Chris Evans back and that the role that he is in, no one that like they went out of their way to say this is a thank you for reminding me about that. And for them to go out of their way, bro, and say like, hey, like we don't necessarily know what he's going to be casted as yet. It's like, it just shows you that he's not going to be casted as Captain America. There's no way. And if you guys know, we use titles like these to attract people, you know what I mean, for the algorithm, etc. But
we don't have to admit to that. We don't have to.
Oh really? Oh yeah. I think he's gonna be Captain America. But no, but Joe's aside though, like I think this is a smart decision from Marvel, because like people gotta understand, bro, they're playing it safe. This is a really big movie. A lot is on the line and on the table with Avengers Doomsday, and I mean, they're just going with another guy that's tried and true, a guy that helped them gross one of their first $1 billion films of all time. And when you have the power team of RDJ and Chris Evans, I mean, that's a successful movie already. So I think that from a business standpoint, it is very smart. And look, at the end of the day, fans are always going to cry about stuff. So you just got to do it as what Jerry said earlier. You got to go with what you think is going to work, and with what you believe in. Because at the end of the day, people are still the same people that complain are the same people that are going to watch this movie no matter what. Like no matter what, they're buying tickets and they're going to freaking see it. And so that's just kind of where I'm at. So I think it's a good decision. Now, I do have a lot of questions from a story standpoint where a Chris Evans character would fit, because I wouldn't be happy if they went with the Hydra Cap or something like that. I mean, RDJ Dr. Doom is something that came out of left field. Nor Jerry, nor I, nor anybody on this YouTube platform ever thought about the idea of RDJ coming back as Dr. Doom. So if you bring back Chris Evans, it has to be a casting that no one has talked about ever. And that's what I'm more excited about than more so like just the idea of him being in it. It's like, okay, what character is he going to play? And I do think that is, as I said before, I think it's a creative way to bring him back, because look, I mean, we would have been happy if he did come back as maybe a Steve from another Earth, but still though, that's uncreative. That's something that Jerry and I could write at freaking home. We could write a plot for that, right?
Like, I've seen people saying, Hydra, Captain America. Listen, I would love to see Hydra at Captain America. Now is not the time for that. And if you're going to do it with Sam Wilson. You've made Sam Wilson Captain America. You want to do something like that? Sam Wilson, Captain America. I have a major prediction that you could all take to the bank right here. First of all, if you haven't watched my video on what is going to happen in Avengers Doomsday, you should check that out. But I should have added into that video that Avengers Doomsday is going to end on a major cliffhanger. Why is it going to end on a major cliffhanger, Jerry? Because it made Endgame the big bucks. When there's 2 points here. Number one, it was the big cliffhanger. Everyone had to know how the Avengers were coming back from being dusted by the Infinity Gauntlet. Number one. Number two, it took over social media. Everything, your whole feed was Infinity Dust for like a week. So those are the types of things that sell tickets to sequels. And obviously, Secret Wars is going to have to live up to that. But, I'll tell you a little bit about the video that I did just because to fill people in and hopefully get you to want to watch the full thing. But basically, Avengers Doomsday is going to be the Doomsday event of Secret Wars. So Avengers Secret Wars comes directly after a long Avengers run comic series where the Illuminati build a device called the antimatter injection system. And they do this because the incursions are happening where 2 Earths collide. Either both of them explode and die, or one explodes and dies and the other survives. So Tony Stark was like, we got to do what we can to make sure our Earth survives. So Reed comes up with this thing called the antimatter injection system. They plant it on the other planet. That's the idea. And they explode the other planet so the collision doesn't take place. The incursions happen. The final incursion happens, which is between their Earth and another Earth. And that last incursion, which is their Earth's incursion, is what's going to take place in Doomsday, the Doomsday event of their incursion. And I do think that the cliffhanger is going to revolve around Dr. Doom taking patches of planets that were destroyed in the incursions and creating Battleworld. And Secret Wars is going to take place on Battleworld. And, Battleworld, you have to understand, we've been talking about alternate realities and all this for a long time now through the multiversal saga. Battleworld is like the ultimate alternate reality. It's completely different than anything you could imagine. Secret Wars is incredible. You should read it, but you should actually read the full Avengers saga that precedes it by Jonathan Hickman, because a lot of people are like, oh, I'm going to read Secret Wars. And a lot of creators that I really respect and talk to, some of them are like, oh, I'm reading Secret Wars now, and they haven't read the Avengers run. That Secret Wars, you're not getting the most out of it if you don't read the Avengers run that leads into it.
Avengers is better than any other comic I've read in my life.
The Hickman one. I told you, it's the best comic of all time.
It's goated. It's goated.
And Secret Wars
Batman is comic, nothing, bro. Nothing touches that ever.
And Secret Wars is the swan song now. And by the way, if you were looking at the MCU right now and we told you that the best comic of all time is what the MCU should be doing right now, and it's not, it's that much crazier what's going on in the MCU.
100%. Yeah, so we are like, we're obviously happy about it, but we just hope that it's similar to what RDJ is like. It's something that we would never think of. And with the Russos, they're OGs in this game. They've been doing this for a long time. I have hope that they're going to give us something out of left field. And to be honest, I don't want to hear who he is until the freaking trailer. I don't want to see nothing. I don't want to see anything.
I do think we're going to hear about it sooner than that, though.
Oh, yeah.
Just because
they kept RDJ Doom under wraps, though, man, for a minute, bro.
Maybe. I'll tell you. Actually, I will say, because there's a couple moving pieces here. 2025 has a big MCU slate. If that slate goes well and they're not desperate for positivity amongst fans online, we'll wait till they'll have us wait till the trailer. But if one movie gets a bad reception amongst fans, they're gonna pull the cat out of the hat or whatever the magic phrase is and reveal who Chris Evans is playing. Because it's all about their, reputation, news, buzz. That stuff matters. I mean, just look at what happened to the Flash movie. So
Yeah. Question I have about this. How would you feel if they redid the whole antimatter system Illuminati thing, but Chris Evans like what if like they did the whole Illuminati thing with Chris Evans as Cap from maybe the Earth that Pedro's Reed is coming from? Like do you think
I
that's
think
something that they would maybe do, or are you more in the face of like I want him to be someone else, like what they're doing with RDJ Doom?
well, the problem with putting Captain America on the Illuminati is that Tony Stark forms this Illuminati behind Captain America's back. And he does that because he knows Captain America would never be okay with sacrificing an entire planet to save themselves. And I don't want to give away what happens to you because you're reading it right now, and some of you who are listening might end up reading it. But there's a major fallout that happens between Tony and Steve.
Oh yeah, I'll see that, bro. I got spoiled with that on freaking TikTok about their epic, battle. Yeah,
bro. It's like, I mean, that fallout in that story rivals their fallout in Civil War.
So, bro, that fallout gets reposted at least once a day on freaking TikTok.
Oh, I gotta go on TikTok more.
And basically they were saying like that's probably one of the greatest comic book fights of all time.
It's interesting because both Civil War and Time Runs Out, which is what the story's called, the Avengers saga going into Secret Wars.
Yeah.
A lot of it is based on like their actual character and how they differ. And it's funny because, after the election, there were a lot of people on Threads who were saying like, conservatives don't understand the media they consume, and all these characters would have not voted for Trump. And I don't need to get into the actual politics of it. But one of the things that I said in response to that, not directly responding to someone, but on my own page, was that all of these characters have different beliefs and viewpoints and values. And if they didn't, these stories would be really boring. I don't think anybody, people might like to live in echo chambers in the real world, but in a movie, that kind of thing doesn't fly because it's boring. Okay. So, I love Civil War and this Avengers comic are my two favorite Marvel comics ever. And both of them come down to a competition of values and principles. So I think that's noteworthy.
100%. So, of course, the true superhero cuts fashion. We spent 20 minutes talking about this. This is how we do it, guys. I know y'all. That's why we're packed right now. You guys wanted to hear it. We gave you the topic. So, okay, now I want to talk about Superman and Lois because I did watch it, and wow. So first off, bro, how do you feel about the ending of this show? Did you cry? I cried.
I didn't, but
I teared up, bro.
I turned it off. Actually, I turned it off.
Really?
So someone very close to me had cancer. She doesn't anymore. But whenever like I see some, I just can't watch it. I turn it off.
Yeah.
You know, and I was annoyed because I was loving the ending. I loved what they did. But like right when I realized Lois was dying, I was like, oh, this is done.
Wait, so you didn't watch the rest of it at all?
I just didn't. And I also skip the beginning when I watch Guardians of the Galaxy. I skip that beginning scene with his mom. But I loved how they did it, and like that show was epic. Do you think that Superman and Lois is a better show than Arrow?
No.
Bro, I don't know.
No way.
It's
no
tough.
way.
Superman and Lois never fell off. That's the other thing.
How many seasons they have? What, 4?
4.
3, 4. Yeah, but Arrow gave us like 5 good ones, bro. I'm sorry.
Arrow.
Like Arrow to me is just one of the greatest superhero shows of all time.
Yeah. So Superman and Lois, bro.
Yeah, Superman and Lois is definitely up there. It's funny because I hated Tyler Hoechlin when he was in Supergirl, and then I didn't really like the first season of Superman and Lois, but then season 2, I was hooked on. Then I stopped it, and you told me to rewatch it. Then I watched 3 and 4, and I'm like, wow, this is top tier. A lot of people are saying that Tyler Hoechlin is like probably like they think he's better than Henry Cavill.
You know, I think it's an unfair comparison because, like, it's hard. For example, and some people might disagree with this comparison or analogy or whatever, but it's hard to compare Tobey Maguire and Tom Holland. You know, two very different types of Spider-Man movies. I think that Tom Holland Spider-Man is exploited more for the greater MCU than they use him to make like a classic Spider-Man movie. And I think because of that, it's an unfair comparison, even though I'm biased, then I would say Tobey Maguire. You know, and I think that with Henry Cavill, we never really got to see him really be like Superman. He was never an accurate Superman. And they did so much damage that when like we get real Superman or there's hints of getting a real Superman, you have a bunch of people online say like, oh, that's whack. Like they don't really know what Superman is because they're so sold on Zack Snyder's false vision. You know, so I don't think it's a fair comparison. I do think if Henry Cavill got to play an accurate Superman, I do think people would have probably talked about him as one of the greatest castings of all time.
Would have been levels ahead. Yeah.
Listen, he's a very talented actor. I think he seems like a really cool guy in real life, and like,
oh yeah, he's dope. He seems dope, at least.
He's He's got the charm. He's got charisma. He's got all the like right personality traits to play the right to actually do Superman justice. And you know, I think he knows he was robbed of it, and it sucks the way it went down. But you know, they have to go with someone new. No matter what anyone says, the one big thing is they can't bring any. It's a business, and there's a lot of baggage with anything related to the Snyderverse. And if you have the chance to start fresh, you take it. So
I mean, bro, I would imagine James Gunn wish he was able to continue because it's easier that way. It's harder to start over.
I would say it, but I do think he really is happy with David Corenswet.
Oh yeah, he is. But I would imagine that like if the stars were aligned more, he would be like, okay, like this would be a way easier task than freaking having to start over. But I think starting over, I love what James is doing, but I'm not going to simp. But back to Superman and Lois, I think that you really can't compare what Tyler Hoechlin did and what Henry Cavill did because they're in two different stages. The same way, like as I am kind of growing, I guess more as I'm reading more comics, like because I've been on the comic side of TikTok and stuff, and this one, I forget his name, but was it Cosmic? It was
Cosmic
somebody.
Great. Check out our friend the Cosmic Collector, COZMIK.
Yeah,
on TikTok, friend of the show. He came on recently.
Great guy.
Really knows his stuff. Personality, so he's entertaining.
It had to be someone that he was associated with or something. But the one thing that they said is that it is a secret rule, I guess at least that he has. Whoever this guy, I forget the guy's name. But you're saying like his secret rule is he doesn't like to compare comic book versions of superheroes because they're always in different stages of life. He said the only way that he compares them is if they're in the same stage as a hero, if that makes sense. And so an example would be like we can compare Cavill to Christopher Reeves because they were in the same stage of life. You know what I mean? So we can compare those Supermans to each other. And where I'm at with like Spider-Man, I'm done comparing Tom Holland to Tobey because Tobey was kind of like becoming a grown man where Tom Holland's a little high school boy, and I just think that, and we can compare qualities and stuff like that, which I think should be landed with every Spider-Man. But like when it comes to Hulk and Superman, he was older. He was a father of 2. He has a wife. He's on the farm. He's back in Smallville. It's just a whole different vibe than what you get in the films. And to be honest, bro, he is the best TV Superman. I have like Smallville. Yeah, Smallville is one of my favorite shows of all time. But I mean, after season 1, Tyler Hoechlin was a better Superman than Tom. So yeah, this show was me. But I do want to talk about the ending, because the fact that we got to see him and all his kids flying together with the Superman suits on,
and
with steel and the steel, bro, that joint was hard, bro. Oh man, and they definitely put some bread into that CGI, bro. They definitely put some bread into that CGI, man. And I also love the Fortress of Solitude, bro, in Superman and Lois. It's just, oh my gosh, it's so amazing. Like they did such a great job on that show, which I loved.
Yeah, it's funny. I think almost all of Superman and Lois was inspired by Peter Tomasi's Superman run, which is great, by the way, if you haven't read it. It's really good. But yeah, I posted something on Threads about how, Superman is like finally getting the positive attention and hype that he deserves. And almost all the comments on it were like positive. It wasn't like, of course there was like 1 or 2 that are like, just complain. Like these people, if you give any Superman a compliment that's not Henry Cavill, they throw a temper tantrum.
Yeah, exactly.
And that is why there's too much baggage to use anything from the Snyderverse.
Yeah,
they shoot themselves in the foot.
I think Hoechlin is always going to be cursed just because he doesn't fit the mold of what we've seen with Superman. And I'm not saying that I curse him to that, because I think that what Tyler Hoechlin did was different, but also like he still held like to me, and maybe this is me like maturing in my fandom, because I said the same thing about them trying to race swap Severus Snape too. Is that like
race swap who?
Snape.
Severus Snape. Okay.
Yeah. And like, and maybe this is me just growing up, but in my fandom a bit, but I am all for it. Like I'm all for looking a bit different if the qualities are better. And to me, Tyler Hoechlin's Superman, the qualities of Clark Kent, the qualities of Kal-El was shown in such a beautiful way, bro. I don't think I've ever seen it done that way on screen, bro. Like, and this one I think David Cornswell is going to do even 10 times better than Tyler Hoechlin. But the heart of Superman in that show, bro, is just like the heart to see the good through the evil and people that no one sees. Like it was shown in such a beautiful way that made you like want to be like that. You know what I mean? Like it was like, I don't know how to explain it, bro.
Well,
it touched my heart. I'm not trying to sound emotional, but it touched my heart.
When he was doing the interview and he made sure to do it with Jimmy Olsen's sister, and he was like, I'm just like a regular guy, like you. Like that was cool to me, because that is who Clark Kent is. And the one thing I will say, and I don't mean this like as a criticism, I love Tyler Hoechlin as Superman. I think he was incredible. But I do think that a lot of the fandom doesn't understand that there is a skill discrepancy in acting for a TV show and a movie. Like a lot of people are always saying Grant Gustin should be the Flash, or he should be the Flash in the DCU. Like, listen, and I love that show, and I think Grant Gustin is incredible in it. But he's not a feature film blockbuster actor. And neither is Tyler Hoechlin. And I'm not saying they can't make that jump, but could you imagine an actor like Robert Downey Jr. doing with skill level, doing an Iron Man TV show? Like it would be out of place. There's a reason that and when you do see those kinds of actors that do TV shows, someone like Pedro Pascal is a perfect example because he has done TV shows, but he's done like premier high, like a streaming show like The Mandalorian or The Last of Us that are like winning awards and the acting capability, it's much different than a CW show. And Pedro Pascal did those before becoming Reed Richards. So like he's kind of done that to launch his career, but this discrepancy between those types of shows and a movie is not as large as a CW show, which is, by the way, and I like Stephen Amell as an actor. I think he, I don't always agree with things he said. I don't agree with things everyone says, but that doesn't mean I'm not someone who's like, oh, you said something I don't like, so I'm going to pretend you can't act for the rest of your life.
100%.
Like, that stuff is so corny. Anyway, Stephen Amell is doing a new show, Suits. I don't know if you know the show Suits.
Oh, I love that show. I can't wait to watch it, bro.
My whole family loves that show. It's great. They're doing a new Suits LA version, and he's like the main star. He's not in a Hollywood blockbuster that everyone's pre-ordering tickets to. There's a big, big difference. And one of the many examples of why these studios should not listen to the fandoms, because people don't know what they're talking. Yes, everyone has an opinion. Everyone watches something, but it doesn't mean they all understand things to that degree.
100%. And that is something that we need to talk about, because like Disney, and I feel like Disney and Netflix brought this in. Like, there's a difference between a Netflix show, a Disney Plus show, and the actual CW show. Like, you got to understand, like Wanda Vision, prime example, they're putting $100 million into that show, versus where Superman and Lois, they're maybe putting like 50 million, 25 million. I mean, the budgets are different and insane. And you are right. There are two different types of acting, premises. And Pedro is just special. I mean, the guy, you have to be a special type of actor to go from series to doing a movie. And you are 100% right. And Pedro, I think he's just one of those guys that just stood out. You know what I mean? And
everyone loves him.
Things like that. Yeah, exactly. And there's just certain actors like Timothée Chalamet. You're never going to see him in a series. You're never going to see Timothée Chalamet in a series ever. He's always going to do movies.
Funny about Timothée Chalamet, I feel like everyone was annoyed with how famous he got for like nothing in the beginning, and everyone thought he was an industry plant. I did. I was like, who is this kid? Why did he become so famous overnight? And no one is criticizing where he is now after Dune 2, number one. And then he was like on ESPN the other day talking college.
He sounded so
natural. I'm not a big college football guy, but I saw people who were like, dude, he like really knows his stuff, So I just think he's someone that continues to impress people who didn't want to like him. And that's important, because most people, when people say, oh, I don't like someone, people have strong feelings these days. It's really hard to flip people. And Timothée Chalamet continues to do it. That dude is going to have one of the sickest careers we're ever going to see in that industry.
100%. And that's, but, and bro, you like, as you see, right, it's that new era where you're getting like a Pedro Pascal, the Timothys, the Paul Mescals, and those type of guys to where they're kind of staying.
I didn't even know who he was till today. Let Glenn Powell is a better example.
Bro, Paul Mescal he's getting big though too. And
I don't even know who this guy is.
He was the main character in Gladiator 2.
Okay.
Yeah, but you're right. Glenn Paswell, Sydney Sweeney, like, all these actors, like, they're all of the actors that are coming up, it seems like they're adapting the old school way of like, I'm only going to come out public when I got an ad I got to post and when I have a project. If I don't have that going on, you won't see me. And to be honest, I think that mystery, bro, is like what makes these actors so, because, bro, Pedro has been kind of like active because he always got films going on, but when he don't got movies going on, you don't really hear from him that much. And I think that there's something about the mystery of, like certain actors.
Well,
Denzel was the same way too. And what's his name? DiCaprio too. Like when he ain't doing a movie, like he ain't really around that much.
It has to do with scarcity and value. So like scarcity, sorry. So yeah. those like upper echelon actors, they feel that if they are too easily accessible, their value decreases. So they save appearances and things like that for when it matters or it's important, which is why a lot of actors don't have social medias. Obviously, a lot do, and it's becoming increasing. But like the bigger ones, they really don't, and they're not on. I mean, you think Robert Downey Jr. has something on his Instagram, or if he has one, you think he's posting to his Instagram story? Nah, that's for influencers. Like that's the way they see it.
Yep. Yeah, all his stuff is just ads and his wife. That's all it is. Ads and his wife.
Exactly. And they want to save it for things like ads or magazines because they want it to matter. And if they're always posting online, everyone knows what they're up to. They're less likely to get an interview in GQ or something like that.
100%.
I shouldn't even say GQ. They're so full of crap. Yeah. They all pay for that stuff. All of it. It's all BS. I promise you.
100%. All right, let's read some chats. Yo, what's up, Derby? Supeherocuts should James Gunn should make DCU for adult and MCU. What? Come on, bro. That's terrible.
Yeah, they both want to sell to adults and kids, and they're not about to collab together and be like, you could have this market and you could have that market.
Supeherocuts, what? 100%, bro. What are your thoughts on people review bombing Creature Commando? By the way, I have a scene by scene breakdown coming out probably in like the next few days. I just literally watched it last night. Yeah, I need to break it down. I really like it. I really do like it. I really do like it. I'm a fan.
I love Amanda Waller. If Amanda Waller is involved, chances are it's a good story.
And I'm bought into Rick Flag, bro. I'm really bought into him. And the whole Frankenstein chick, I'm kind of bought into her story as well. It kind of really made me kind of, This is the BS Marvel fans will simp over. I'm talking about movie lovers, not the comic readers. Yeah, because the movie lovers are the ones that make the box office go round and round. Derpy Entertainment, what's up? Hunter Iggy, very unlikely because characters like Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Flash, Green Lantern, Titans, etc. WB wants to sell merchandise to kids. They want families to buy tickets for the kids. Exactly, bro. Like the movies is where we are going to buy, and parents and stuff like that. But where they really make bread is toys and stuff like that. And also, I really want to talk about this too, because Fortnite is releasing basically a Lego Grand Theft Auto world. And I'm just saying that like a lot of these Warner Bros. And Disney, they're making a bag off of these Fortnite skins. And we got to talk about how much people are spending, because I spent at least $100 in the past 2 weeks on Fortnite skins. Because, bro, they dropped the Spider-Verse skins. Bro, they dropped Spider-Man Noir. They dropped Miles Morales. They dropped Peter B. Parker and Grant Gustin Flash, bro. Like, these studios are making a bag. Anyways, this is probably my personal bias, but I would have loved one more Steve Rogers Captain America movie only because I felt like Civil War wasn't really a solo movie. Jerry, do you agree or no?
I agree. The more if Chris Evans Captain America movies, the better. And now they really can't do it. So I wish we had a fourth.
Could have been Serpent Society too, which would have been freaking dope.
Yeah.
Henry Cavill Superman is the equivalent to Andrew Garfield. That is a great comparison, bro. That is a great comparison. Both are great actors who had a ton of potential, but the scripts screwed them over. That is a great comparison.
I wouldn't say it's a 1-to-1 though. I think Henry Cavill Superman is way like they didn't change who Spider-Man and Peter Parker were to his core the way they did with Superman.
True. What do you guys think about the cameo / Easter eggs of certain characters in Creature Commandos? I thought it was dope.
Yeah, I loved it. I think it was great. It was creative. Listen, the other thing with James Gunn, there's going to be people who are going to criticize him unfairly till the end of time. But everyone who actually watched Creature Commandos and like isn't obsessed with Zack Snyder loved it.
By the way, James Gunn is a great writer, bro.
Yeah, that was impressive.
Yeah, he can write his butt off. All right, let's see. I tell people all the time, Affleck didn't really care about bats anymore. Then there's the Ezra and Ray Fisher situation. How long would Gal play Wonder the woman. Momoa is an Aqua cosplayer. Oh my god, too much baggage. I think Gal would have stayed, to be honest, but she's older, man. She's in like her 40s, bro, late 40s. So, and by the way, and I literally have a video coming out tomorrow
39.
about this. Oh, okay, yeah, but he probably still wants a younger actor, I guess. But
Yeah.
just want to say this: her freaking acting as the evil witch in Snow White is chef's kiss.
You saw it?
I saw the trailer, and the trailer, dude, and the trailer, she's gonna carry that movie. Now, I'm not the biggest Rachel. Now, aside from the BS that she does on socials, because I want to be fair and just judge her acting, I've never been sold on her as an actress. And I say this in the Spectrum Cuts thing that's going out like tomorrow. I don't think she's good as Snow White, bro, and I think that's gonna hurt the film a lot. And like, bro, you can, and like Jerry, if you were to watch the trailer, you would see how much Gal is carrying the film, and that's what scares me.
I knew that Gal was going to be carrying the movie from the get-go because Gal Gadot actually can act. I think a lot of people unfairly say the opposite, and I think they do that with ulterior motives, similar to how I said how fans are with Stephen Amell, except it's a little more unfair with Gal for obvious reasons. And, you know, Rachel Zegler, I think I've only seen her in Shazam, and I wasn't impressed with her. I didn't think she was, you know, like very pretty. Like, obviously she was supposed to be a pretty girl that was, you know, alluring to whatever the character's name was. And then I realized, I was like, wait a minute, this is the girl that is like saying all this stuff. You know, you'd think she had Leo DiCaprio type of talent the way this.
Yeah, right.
She opens her mouth and says the dumbest stuff as if it's not going to impact her career. And, you know, listen,
exactly, bro.
You could get away with some bad commentary if you have a lot of talent like LeBron James. Rachel Zegler is just not on that level.
Yeah, bro. I mean, and look, I watched it. I saw freaking The West Side Story, and I watched the last Hunger Games film she was in. Just not impressed at all. And that's a side, because look, as much as Jerry and I get frustrated with people's press, like when we watched The Marvels, we threw away all the stuff they said and we watched it at face value. Just, you can just tell bad acting. You can just tell when it's bad acting, and I'm just not sold. All right, hungry people are review bombing the Creature Commandos. Yeah, sadly, the Wonder Woman outfit in Creature Commandos was similar to the Justice League Unlimited dubs. If James Gunn gives Wonder Woman that type of outfit for live action, then he has a lot of balls given today's society. Yeah, bro, they should give her that costume, and it will be fire. It'll be freaking awesome.
By the way,
girl power.
I do think that kind of stuff is going to come back strong. I think, listen, this isn't a political show, but culture is downstream of politics. And I do think that this country just rejected a lot of the nonsense that goes against common sense. And I do think we are going to benefit from it in entertainment.
Yeah, I mean, it's just very simple. A lot of creators were scared to do what they want. And that's just all. And as fans, that's what we want. We want to see creators make content that honors, obviously, the book adaptation, but also do what you want, bro. Don't like all these outside sources. Screw them, bro. Supeherocuts. If it means they should make the DCU animated for adults in HBO Max and lightheart for the kids, I want a DCU Superman series and a DCU Batman. See, like Hunter Iggy, bro, you're making it too complicated, bro. They are like the same way when Justice League Unlimited dropped. All kids and adults watched it. It's going to be the same thing. You know, it's just not going to be as rated R violence like they're doing with the Creature, Commandos. You know what I'm saying?
And I do think we will get more like adult themed content, but the universe as a whole and those big projects, like you're not going to see a Justice League movie that's rated R, put it that 100%. Way. But you might get, Creature Commandos that, might be rated R or closer to it, or certain characters like that might have darker stories. Like for example, I think Deadpool and Wolverine is the perfect example. Marvel is still going through with a bunch of movies that are geared towards everyone. And they were like, one time, you know what? Let's have a little fun with it. It's Deadpool and Wolverine. We're going to do, an R-rated movie because people have wanted this forever. And, you know, if kids can't see it, we have a bunch of other things that they can enjoy.
100%. Like Agatha. Had to throw that joke in there.
Yeah.
Oh God. Let's see. Batman, Teen Titans, Wonder Woman's Flash, will be feeling exactly, bro. There's no way the Robin animated movie that they're doing is going to be rated R. You know, what I mean, like there's going to be stuff for kids that we will also enjoy. So, all right, now let's get to Craven, bro. Because so Jerry, I found out something very interesting right before we recorded. Literally, when I was changing our thumbnail, I saw a YouTube recommended video that popped up that Craven was pulled out of 1,000 theaters.
No.
Yeah, I saw a couple of YouTube channels literally posting minutes before we went live.
It's probably being pulled because it's not selling well.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. Oh, 100%. I think that Craven might have chose the worst. Yep, everybody's writing about the YouTube videos. Comicbookmovie.com.
Yeah, that's what I'm on right now.
So I think that Sony, this is not like you never release around the musical nerds time. like there's Moana's out right now. There's freaking Wicked, bro. People are in those theaters right now. Gladiator's also making bank right now. You know, there's a lot of movies out right now, bro.
They gave Craven the Dolby Cinema at
what?
Yeah, bro. I actually might have to change my ticket to another day because I have plans on Friday. I forgot. But, you know, put it this way. For those of you who maybe haven't been watching the show, Gladiator, when it came out, if a movie's in Dolby, I'm seeing it in Dolby, period. And I wanted to see Gladiator. And I went to book the ticket at like the 7, give or take, whatever time it was going to be. And they didn't have the 7. It was either 3:15 or 10:45. And I was like, I'm not seeing the movie during the day. I'm not going at night. I'm going to wait till it comes on at home. It was because of Wicked. And by the way, you know, I was just reading something how all the video game labels, they're all waiting. A lot of them are waiting to find out when Grand Theft Auto 6 is releasing because they don't even want to release in the same quarter. And I'm really hoping that on Thursday, it's the Video Game Awards. I'm hoping they announce when, because Metal Gear Solid's obviously not dropping this year anymore, which sucks. But I'm hoping they announce Metal Gear Solid, and I'm hoping it comes Q1. Oh man, I can't wait for that game, bro. But you know, Grand Theft Auto 6, you know, when Grand Theft Auto comes out, it's just, there's nothing else like it. And it's crazy that movies have to worry about musicals. They're fucking musicals. They're so whack. Like, will never understand how anyone enjoys people singing about, I'm going to take a shower. Like, what?
Bro,
Nobody needs to know. Like, how do you sing about everything? It's so stupid. And they did it in 2 parts. So it's like 5 hours of musicals you got to see Wicked. And by the way, if Wicked wasn't a musical and it was just the actual story about the witches, I would watch it, okay? I would say that's dope because I remember seeing the show when I was a kid, when it first came out at Broadway.
It's dark, dude.
Before I hated musicals because I was too young to know any better. But I liked the story. The story was cool. I was like, wow, that's very creative. It's a completely different direction than Wizard of Oz. I never thought about it like that. That is cool. I would love to see that story again, but I never will till I die because I will never watch a musical.
Now, I obviously disagree. I thought the movie's dope, but I'm not going to go down this road because we'll be here for a while. But I want to say with Craven, like they should have did the movie's been done for a long time. They should have went for a summer release. I'll be honest. I think the movie could have done a good 400 million summer release success story. Call it a day.
I don't think that it's that easy to move it at this late in the game, especially when it was a Q4 movie. So they're like planning on that. These corporations, they look full years out and they plan for revenue, and they have to explain that to either shareholders, equity holders, whoever, and they have to explain it. So to move a movie that is supposed to come out Q4 to a different calendar year is a big deal.
Well, so I was saying this summer, like this past, like this summer,
Okay.
yeah, because remember, Craven got moved again.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? So and
then
like
they have to change the
and
marketing
to be
plan.
honest, bro, like you should have canceled Madam Web and put Craven in that slot. You know what I mean? Like that's what I'm thinking. Like
it's not going to do well. 1,000 theaters less. I mean, think about how many dollars that is. That's you know,
that's bad, bro.
I'm not even going to go down that road.
Yeah, bro, it's bad.
It's
bro.
not even anything saying bad, but like I just don't want to get into my personal life too much.
I got you, bro. Yeah, bro, it's bad. It's really bad that it got put out. But with expectations for Craven, our expectations, as we said the past few like months, we just want a fun action movie.
Yeah.
You know, and I want to read what the director said, Jerry, and I feel like a douche reading this because now I hear this. Craven, the Hunter director, J.C. Chandler, says that if the film is successful, he would like to conclude Craven's story with the adaptation of Craven's Last Hunt. Well, bro, that ain't happening.
Yeah, I would love to see that, but it's not happening.
Yeah,
I feel like that's such a. I like the comic, but it is so overrated. It's like it's cool, it has the vibes, but like the story, it's like it could have been told in like 2 issues. I mean, there's like there's just not enough subject matter in it.
So just a lot of like dead space.
It's a lot of dead space. Like a good.
I gotta read it.
A good story needs more text to read. Like it's mostly I just think it's mostly the art and the fact that Spider-Man was killed and came back from the dead. Like that just made that story so savage, and it put Craven on the map. And it was probably really cool at the time, but like, and it's not that I don't like it. And it's just like, if they wrote that story today, it would have been so much better. And that's the other thing about comics you have to understand is that the art of writing stories has progressively gotten so much better that a comic from today is so much better than a comic from the late 80s. But at the same time, that isn't necessarily true for Spider-Man because they keep giving Spider-Man to the worst writers on the planet. Yep. So,
I'm not watching Craven at all. How do you do Craven's Last Hunt without Spider-Man facts, bro?
Yeah,
that's an issue of itself. Okay, now the head of Sony, Amy Pascal, she was teasing some stuff for Spider-Man 4. So I want to read that. And Jerry, I want to hear your thoughts. I think I sent this to you earlier, right? I'm pretty sure I did. She says this: we have to deal with the fact that he decided he was going to give up being Peter Parker and he was going to focus on being Spider-Man because being Peter Parker was too hard. So that's what the movie is about. Jerry, so Amy Pascal taught him about kind of where Peter Parker's head is at. Obviously you would agree that it makes sense given the ending of Spider-Man No Way Home, but how do you feel about where Peter Parker's head is at to where it's kind of like the Batman type of thing where he's going to be in the suit for a lot of the movie?
Yeah. I think that I don't know if he's necessarily going to be in the suit for the whole movie, but it's clear that he isn't going to necessarily have such a life as Peter Parker, and his life as Peter Parker might be dedicated to, planning and plotting for his life as Spider-Man. And it doesn't sound like they are taking the route of new characters for Peter Parker's life. Like this doesn't sound like we're going to be getting Gwen Stacy and Harry Osborn at all. So, it seems like every week we learn something new about Spider-Man 4 that makes it very hard to predict what the hell this movie is going to be. Because each week contradicts the last week.
Yeah, dude, we're just shooting blanks out here, bro.
Yeah,
honestly,
seriously,
it's something new you're right, bro. It's new every week. It's starting to get a little annoying. I'm not gonna lie to you, because there's something we like and then there's something that we hate. Yeah, so I felt like I like it because it makes sense. He's kind of in his bag, but shouldn't there be someone or something that makes his focus go off? And that's where, as you said, a Harry Osborn comes in, a Gwen Stacy comes in. He gets a Norman Osborn, a mentor. Like, where is the world building for Spider-Man? And that's what I think needs to happen in Spider-Man 4.
Norman Osborn is like the perfect character for the situation, because Norman Osborn isn't a character that Peter is going to have a close relationship with in his personal life, but he could still have a relationship with Norman Osborn as Peter Parker that impacts his activities as Spider-Man.
1000%, bro. And that's where I think that they could cook. And excuse me. And obviously, we know Marvel's talking to Coleman Domingo, and he's obviously voicing Norman in the Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man show. So hopefully, man, they can work something out to get him in as a Norman Osborn, and we can get Harry Osborn, and we can get something going, because I really think that those characters are the key to making this Spider-Man world go round and round. And they got through it the first trilogy, and I would say that they were on the backs of the MCU's universe. So Peter was kind of busy, but they gotta. I think you can't. That's like doing Superman without Lois Lane and Jimmy Olsen, and you know what I mean. Like, you gotta have these guys in here, man. You can't just keep doing it without them.
I do. Who? Norman or Harry?
Both. Like, we need them both. And it's like I had my fun with Ned. I hope he comes back, but I think that we're in the time to where Peter is alone, and this is the perfect chance to bring in a Harry and a Norman Osborn.
It's interesting because Daredevil is a good example of someone who sometimes his life as Daredevil impacts his relationship with Foggy. And like sometimes in the comics and in the show, he doesn't really have a relationship with Foggy because they're at odds with each other about him as Daredevil. I would love to see the Osborns. I think that like you could do so much with them because Norman, Oscorp Industries, Dark Avengers, you could also do something like in the comics. Norman Osborn does a hostile takeover of Stark Industries. Like, there is so much content to mine from with Norman, and Harry obviously adds another layer to it, especially to the fact that both Norman and Harry have their own villains. Norman is obviously the Green Goblin, but he's also been Carnage, and he's also been Gold Goblin now, which is kind of stupid, but whatever. And, he's also been Iron Patriot. So Norman Osborn has been his own alter ego probably more times than any other character. And, Harry just has the Hobgoblin and now technically Venom. By the way, on the idea of race swapping, if you haven't watched the show, we don't oppose the idea. Obviously, we both just agreed that Coleman Domingo would be a great Norman Osborn. There's a lot of characters, and we said this for a while, like, a lot of characters, their race is really irrelevant to who they are as a character. Usually black characters, them being black is important to them. So, I've seen some people say like, when this, because we're not the only ones who've, said this kind of, well, that's not really fair. At the same time, there's a lot more white characters than there are black characters to begin with. So, that's also not really fair. So, when we do talk about going race swapping, if someone's complaining, oh, well, it's not fair because white characters go black and black. There's much more white characters, so it's not fair to begin with. Okay,
exactly.
Let's not put that out there.
100%, yeah. Because I mean, and like when it comes to certain characters, like as Jerry said, race doesn't matter, and like when it comes to Norman Osborn, we would want a better actor than someone that looks the part. That's kind of like where I'm at, like, because Norman's personality and his traits is what makes Norman, not necessarily his race. You know what I mean? Like, it could even be a freaking Spanish guy. I wouldn't care as long as they're able to act the part. I'm cool with it, bro. It's kind of.
I would like to see his weird hairdo, but it's not like it's not a Willem Dafoe did a phenomenal job without the weird hairdo. I don't even know what is it. It's just like if you look at a picture of Norman Osborn from the comics, he almost looks like a white guy with cornrows.
Bro, it does like he got braids. It's weird.
Yeah.
But Coleman has that. Coleman has that old school slick back hair. That's another reason why I think they don't want him as Norman, because he has like a slick back hair with like a part that goes like here. It's kind of like them with that old school suave type stuff. Let me see.
He looks like he's got normal hair. I don't know what you're talking about.
Hold on. It's like, hold on. I think he wore it at the Grammys.
Yeah, no, that's a Met Gala thing. That's not.
Oh, never mind. Oh, so that's not his normal do. Okay.
Yeah, they always go with like a unique one-off look for the Met Gala. It's like true.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, really? Yeah. I thought that was his actual look. I was like, that's very like interesting. But yeah. Let's see. I gotta ask, do you think whenever the X-Men debuts, do you think it's possible to do a live-action adaptation of House and Powers of X? Both those stories seem extremely comic booky to do on live.
I would lose my mind. Oh, there is nothing. I could probably make a top 10 comic frames I would love to see in live action, and the frame of Wolverine jumping into space to take out Orcus and sacrificing himself. By the way, not so different from Thor at Nidavellir in Infinity War. I'm going to send actually, I'm not going to be able to find the picture. I'm going to try, though, because if we could get this on the pod, it would be insane. Wolverine, Orcus, Powers of X.
I'll pull it up. I'll just type in Wolverine sacrifice Powers of X. I think I got it. Wait, no, that's not it.
It's so sick. It is so sick.
Really?
Yeah.
But you would be hype if that happened in live action.
Oh, dude. And if they were to do like Krakoa, I think that would be incredible. There are different periods of the mutants and them having their own island of Genosha or Krakoa. I really like Krakoa because Krakoa was like the ultimate case study in them actually having power to implement their ideologies and their warnings. Like, bro, you got to see like the best version of almost all the different mutants through Krakoa. Magneto was sick, Professor X, Wolverine, Cyclops, like all of them. Some stories, X-Men comics, some of them have stronger roles than others, but like all the like top ones that you really want to see were big in the Hickman X-Men saga. Dude, just incredible. X-Men are so dope. I can't wait till we get the MCU X-Men. But if we got that, I do think it's possible, and I think that the Russos would be the best people to do it. But I don't know if they're going to go there. Maybe they will. The one thing I don't want to see is I don't want to see them do really any of the stories that we saw from the Fox universe.
Oh, yes. Definitely no Dark Phoenix.
Not Dark Phoenix, not Days of Future Past, none of it. And like, I love the Fox X-Men universe. I think it's underrated, if anything. But because it's so good, like, there are so many good X-Men stories to pull from. Let's get different ones.
100%. And Kevin Feige probably wouldn't, because he worked on those sets. He's the one that got Hugh Jackman the Wolverine job. So
that's true.
My guess that he's probably has so many ideas, bro, about what he actually wants to do.
And they're smart, like X-Men 97.
Oh my god,
from different comics, like
that show was
so good.
Oh god. All right, now I saw you post a lot of Batman comics on your Instagram and Threads. So I wanted you to really just give us a uh little talk about, because you do post a lot of Batman comics. What makes Batman comics so special? Like, why is it that Batman comics is something that you always go to almost every week? Like, what is so great about the Batman
I
comic?
wish I went to Batman comics every week, but I've read all the Batman comics I read, and now I'm just always impatiently waiting for the next one to drop. Batman is so special, I think, because of both his mythos and his mythology. Batman's mythology is incredible, and I think what makes the Bat family so cool is a lot of it is what it brings out of Batman. He's always putting them in check with the mythology and his priorities, and also a lot of times with villains, he's like, no, like, this is too dangerous. You're staying home, Damian. I'm going. And Damian obviously never listens, but it shows where Batman's head is at. And then there are the villains that make it so special. Batman has the best villains, period. There is no one that has better villains than Batman. And they always make for great stories. And then there's the mysteries, there's the action. The current Batman has the one that just dropped last week, which I read immediately. Batman, James Gordon is getting framed for a murder. Batman thought might have been true. He got pissed at Gordon. Like, the Court of Owls are coming back, who are my favorite villain. I mean, Batman is the ultimate superhero. Like, it's tough for me to say I like Batman over Spider-Man and Iron Man, but Batman is probably my number one. He's just the coolest of them all. He's got the sickest stories, and his mythology is just incredible. And by the way, the Dark Knight trilogy is the best Batman movie because it's the ultimate case study of Batman's mythology. You could watch the Dark Knight trilogy and walk out and know exactly who Batman is. And there's no other movie that will do that for you with Batman. And probably any character. I don't know if there's any example you could give me that's better than the Dark Knight trilogy to fully understand who the character is.
There's only one.
Who?
Captain America. That's the only one. That's the only one.
Okay, fair.
That's the only one. That's the only one that comes even close. And I would argue that it's not better than what the Dark Knight did. And this comes from someone who strongly dislikes the Dark Knight trilogy. You know what I mean? Like as I said, and you know me. I do have my gripes, but from a character standpoint, it's probably, other than Tony Stark or Captain America, it is top 3 greatest character arcs of all time.
Yeah, and what's so crazy about it is that now, the Dark Knight trilogy ended 12 years ago. Like, there are so many people who don't read comics that are huge Batman fans, and they really fully understand Batman without ever having to read a comic. And that's because of the Dark Knight trilogy.
100%.
So these movies, you have to remember, a lot of these characters, most people don't read comic books. So when you see which characters are popular and how popular they are, most of that is based on movies. So when you think about it, you got to give these movies a lot more credit when you think about it that way.
100%, bro. 100%. Now, I want to talk to you about this Black Panther, because I know that you've been hype about this, and that picture you posted with the vibranium was very interesting. So from your understanding from reading this, what's going on with the vibranium in the Ultimate Universe? Because it really intrigued me.
It's hard to say because we're just learning about it. Like, it kind of started to unfold where T'Challa was, in his bedroom with Okoye. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing her name right. Again, I read it.
Okoye.
Okoye. So, he was able to move the vibranium around like as if he was Magneto moving a metal around. Yeah. But then another comic, when he was taking his suit off, it was like Venom. And what was interesting about the Venom part was, let me pull it up, but so different characters, like not all characters, but some characters have their own text bubble where like they have their own style of text bubble that you only see for that character. And when the Venom vibranium scene happened, it was the Venom text bubble. I'm trying to remember who actually
So there's a possibility that there's a vibranium symbiote.
Yeah, vibranium is like a symbiote.
What the frick? What?
Yeah. So this is it.
Oh my God.
And then that's the text bubble, like you see, and it spoke to him. It said, "You are vibranium."
Like we are Venom. Okay, Ryan Coogler, if you hear us, do this with your recasted Black Panther.
Yeah.
That's freaking awesome.
I don't think they'll do that because the vibranium is so important, and like there are different stories about other people trying to get vibranium out of Wakanda, and I think that changing the properties of vibranium in the MCU would have too many implications on what they should and couldn't do. You know, and that's what's so cool about the Ultimate and the Absolute universe. And like, you know, I think this week or next week they have Marvel has a book coming out called The Ultimate Universe 1 year in. And, you know, that Black Panther book was the most recent Ultimate Black Panther. Like, we don't know what else they're going to change and what they're going to do and what else is going to be different because we're reading this for the first time. It's happening in real time. So I think that's really cool. Like there's a lot of things that happen. No one thought vibranium was going to be different in the Ultimate Universe, but here we are. And I think it's sick.
Yeah. And it does make sense because, you know, vibranium does come from another planet. So it would make sense that there's something inside of it that's alive, you know? So pretty cool thing. Okay. Now on to our last topic of the night, which Batman said it. I've been waiting to do this for like the past week. So basically I have compiled a bunch of different Batman quotes and
I'm not going to cheat.
Yeah. And this is going to be throughout every single live action Batman. We're going to have the options down. This is like the nuttiest thing I've done in a really long time. And I'm not going to lie. I enjoyed every second of making this thing because what I did was I went back and watched the lines be said just so I could have the laugh. You know what I mean?
Right.
And bro, it was just freaking hilarious. So let me pull this up for you, and then we're going to get this thing going. I just wonder to re-add this real quick just to make sure. All right. Okay, Jerry. Hold on, it's processing. Give me a second. Okay. Which Batman said it? So we are going to start with the first quote. Some days you can't get rid of a bomb. Which Batman do you think said that?
You have the answer up. No, but I was going to guess him anyway. Yeah.
Oh, 1 second. That just pissed me off. Oh my gosh.
Who else would say something as cheesy as that? Of course, that was an easy one.
All right, let me just go through this. Okay, let me make sure that there's no answers. 1 second, I take this one out. Okay. We're going to start over, guys. We're going to start over. It should be good now. Okay. Next one.
You have the answer.
No. That was okay. All right. Next one. Mistletoe can be deadly if you eat it.
George Clooney.
You were wrong. Michael Keaton said that.
No.
Yeah.
I was Keaton because of Christmas, but I guessed George Clooney because Poison Ivy.
Yeah. He said some dumb stuff too. Okay, next one. Here we go. I'm not wearing hockey pads. Who said that?
Oh, that's an easy one. Christian Bale.
Okay.
No.
Next one. Do I look like a cop?
Michael Keaton.
Bro, it was Bill. Remember
Was he-
and remember in Batman Begins when remember when that fat cop stole the hot dog and then
Oh,
then
yes, yes.
I love that.
That fat cop was Harvey Bullock, by the way.
Really?
That's Gordon's right-hand man. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I'll get drive-through.
Oh, Val Kilmer.
How'd you know?
I just remember. I kind of remembered him saying that.
Hand me down the shark repellent bat spray.
Oh, that's easy. Adam West.
Bro, wait, how do you know if it's Adam West or not?
Bro, because the shark repellent was like, he's like famous for that.
Really? That was hilarious. All right, and here's the last one.
Oh, this is the easy.
You want to get nuts? Let's go nuts. Who's that? Let's get nuts. What scene is it from?
He is like in the oil factory, I think.
No. So this is in Batman 89, but what happened was he was it was when he was with Homegirl, and then the Joker pulled up on Batman, and he put like the freaking metal thing in his like chest to get fake shot, and then he vanished. Remember that?
Not really. I never rewatched those.
Yeah, bro.
I told you, pre-Nolan, I like don't even consider it.
Really? So you haven't watched any of the old ones in a while? Oh,
a kid.
My bad.
I rewatched some of Batman Forever because you always hype it up, but I didn't finish it. And I never went back to it. I am going to get around to rewatching Batman Forever and finishing it.
For sure. No, that's hilarious. All right, bet. Well, all right, y'all. We're going to end the show here tonight. I'm going to see Craven Thursday. Are you seeing it this weekend at all or no?
I gotta figure out which day I'm going to go because I have a ticket for Friday, but I got to change that because I have things on Friday.
Bet. All right, bet.
Yeah, so I'm definitely going this weekend.
Perfect. So we'll have a Craven review next week. Creature Commandos scene by scene breakdowns coming out in the next few days. And then, we're obviously getting this Chris Evans Captain America video up tomorrow, obviously, because that's big news. So we hope you guys have a great day. Stay crispy and Merry Christmas to you all. Peace out.
Peace.